So in today's video, I'll be showing you how you can get ungated when selling using Amazon FBA. So today I'll be showing you how to get ungated in the brand Playmobil. Now the concept works the same whether it's a brand or whether it's an actual category. So for example, toys, or that might be confectionery. So I'm going to share my screen with you now. Now the website we're going to use is one called Harrison's Direct. Now you may be familiar with this already. They do quite a large range of wholesale products, and it's very easy to create an account with them, and it's free to create an account as well. The nice thing about Harrison's is that they have a really large range of products. So it starts from health and beauty, stationery, toys, gifts, confectionery, household. So what that means is that it gives you a lot of opportunity to get a lot of things ungated, because as you start selling on Amazon FBA, you'll notice that a lot of things are gated, and this is one way to really open up your selling. So as I say, we're going to be doing Playmobil today. So the first thing we're going to be doing is obviously needing to find a product within this category on here. So I found this Playmobil Special Agent with drone. So what we want to be doing firstly is checking the requirements on Amazon. Once we've found the product, so we just want to be checking the requirements on Amazon. So if we just copy this title and head over to Amazon and paste that in here. Now it's really important to make sure that the product you found is the exact same product. If it's not the same product, it won't get ungated. So we can see that is exactly the same product, so that's brilliant. So when you are gated, what you'll notice is that right here it says apply to sell. So we'll click new and it says apply to sell. Usually you can just list items if you're ungated, but on this one we've obviously gated in it, so we've got to click apply to sell. So what we're going to do is we're going to click that. Okay, so we can see here that this account doesn't qualify. Now, you may notice on some lines that you can get automatic approval just by clicking this. So if we click request approval, but on this one we don't, which is to be expected. So what we want to be doing now is reading the information on what Amazon need to get to ungate us in this. So at least one purchase invoice for products from a manufacturer or distributor. So we've got that bit covered. We're getting that from Harrison's. So the requirements that this must meet is that it's dated on or after the 6th of June, so within 180 days. It must include your name and address, matching the information in your selling account. So basically, when you order that product, you need to send it to the same details which you've set up your Amazon account. They need to match exactly the same. Next up, it needs to include the name and address of the manufacturer or distributor. So this will be Harrison's in this case. And then just after that, we've got show the combined purchase of at least 10 units. It must submit price and information. Now that's optional. And as it says here, please note that they may verify your submitted documentation by contacting the product vendor, so that would be Harrison's, but that's not a problem whatsoever because we are actually buying the product. Now you may also notice on some lines, it's usually more typically in an actual category, they may ask for photos of the product, where they ask for photos of all sides of the product, and it must include the maker's address details basically. So you'll notice on any product you buy, it will have their head office address usually on, so it needs to include that. And then that is typically only on sort of main categories, so toys or beauty. You don't really see it as often on the branded ones, but it does happen from time to time. So if you do spot that, don't panic, that's not a problem whatsoever. So we're going to head back to Harrison's now and start working our way through this. So the thing I'm just going to start on is the show the combined purchase of at least 10 units. So what that means is that you don't need to buy sort of 10 boxes of anything. It needs to be 10 individual units. So as we can see on this product here, this is a case size of 5. So this has got 5 units. So in this instance, what we'll be doing is we'll be having to buy 2 to equal 10. Now you don't need to buy any more than that. Obviously, if you've got a case size which includes more than that, that's absolutely fine. Add to basket. Brilliant. So this is now in our basket. So the next thing for us to do is to obviously wait for the item to arrive. So as I say, when you're checking out, make sure that you're using the exact same details as what's on your Amazon account. If you don't do that, you will have problems. So that's really important to make sure that the address the name, the company name, however you've set up your account, make sure that it is identical, because if you don't, the chances are they'll reject it, and what that basically means is that you'll have to start the whole process again. So it's really important just to sort of take your time when you're doing this, because it will just save you a lot of work later on. So we're fast forwarding now, and the item has now arrived, and we now need to fill in the rest of the information. So the best thing for you to do is basically to make it as clear as possible for the Amazon support staff. So you basically want to make it very, very obvious what you're doing, very, very obvious that it's 10 units, very obvious that it's the right product, and just basically highlight all the information they're asking for. So the first few bits are simple. So the invoice that you get will include your name and address, which will be matching your selling account. It will obviously include the name and address of where you're buying it from. That will be included as well. So show the combined purchase of at least 10 units. So what is advisable on this is actually highlighting the fact it is 10 units. So for example, on this one, this is going to say, because it's a case size of 5, this is going to say 2 times 5 on the invoice. So what you want to be doing is basically highlighting the fact that it equates up to 10. So a really good thing is to circle the actual quantity. So circle where it says 2 times 5, then draw a little arrow and highlight the fact that this equates to 10 units. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when you're being asked if you do need to take photos of a product, when you're being asked to do that, that's just another thing which you want to make really simple for them. So if they're asking for the address of the manufacturer as well for the actual product on the box, just highlight everything for it and just basically make everything as clear as you can. So once you're happy, you've added all the information you need to add, it's now time to obviously submit the information. Now it can take a little while to hear back, it's usually quite quick, but it really does depend on the time of year and what's going on. If Amazon do reject your first go, do not be disheartened. This is very, very common. It happens quite a lot. The important thing that you want to be doing is working out why they rejected it, basically. They'll give you basic information, but they don't give you a huge amount of information as to why it's happened. So just sit back and reflect as to why it is they might have rejected it, and then basically make it clearer for them and resend in whatever you need to do it. It can take 2 attempts, it can take 3 attempts, it can take 4, but eventually you will get ungated. So as I mentioned earlier, you can use this method for anything on Amazon, whether it is another brand, whether it is another category. The key thing which you want to be doing is just reading the information that Amazon is asking for and displaying it in an easy to read format for the Amazon staff. You have to remember that the Amazon staff probably go through a huge amount of these a day. And if you're not making it clear for them, then they're not going to spend the time trying to work things out. So that is the key part, is just making it as clear as possible. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you found that helpful. If you did find it helpful, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. And if you did want to join Profitl, just hit the link in the description.